Okay, now let us talk about thalidomide, and there is a Nazi connection with this horrible drug, right? And those of us who do not learn from the past, we are doomed to repeat it. Now, these people are working from the Nazi playbook because what Hitler failed to do with World War II, they have realized Hitler's mistake and they have moved on and they have effectively dumbed down society, give us entertainment, right? Keep us really stupid so that they can do whatever they want to do with us and we are none the wiser. Let our past teach us as to what is about to happen, right? Our Bible tells us nothing new under the sun. Now, after reviewing the research material on thalidomide and links with the Nazis, the team and I decided to come up with only one conclusion: that thalidomide was created to abort fetuses. No, the evidence is not there to back this up. This is just me and the team because we know what the Nazi Party is all about, what they were trying to achieve. So this drug thalidomide was created to kill fetuses, but that is just me and the team. We will be going over the research material and they will give you a completely different reason as to why thalidomide was created, right? Now, I'm not buying it one bit, but I will go over it for you so you can go look for these articles, use critical thinking and connect the dots and understand what the Nazi Party was about, what they were trying to achieve. And that is why during this pandemic, older people started to drop like flies. There's a good reason for that. Those people are from the generation that fought back when Hitler wanted to push his own dictatorship on them. So quite naturally, they're going to get back at them for doing that. How dare you stop Hitler from taking over the world and live under his dictatorship? So therefore, grandma and grandpa had to go, right? Now, let us look at this article coming from the Mail Online. And the article date is February 8, 2009. Now, the title of the article is Nazis Developed Thalidomide and Tested It on Concentration Camp Prisoners, author claims. Now, let's get into some of this article. Thalidomide was developed by the Nazis and tested on prisoners at concentration camp, it has been claimed. The drug was prescribed to expectant mothers between 1957 and 1961 for morning sickness led to thousands of babies being born deformed. It was supposedly invented in the early 1950s by German firm Chemie Grunenthal, but documents unearthed by Dr. Martin Johnson, director of the Thalidomide Trust, suggest it was created as an antidote to nerve toxin, including sarin, and was developed by Otto Ambros, a Third Reich scientist. Dr. Johnson claimed the drug was worked on by Ambrose before he went to Grunenthal after the war. This is getting interesting. A former Nazi war criminal working with the company that produces thalidomide. Very interested indeed. It is now appearing increasingly likely that thalidomide was the last war crime of the Nazis, Dr. Johnson said. Grunenthal's 1954 thalidomide patent indicated it had already been tested on humans before official tests began. It added another document found by an Argentinian writer, Carlos de Napoli, appears to show the drug was tested in the death camps. The claims could have implications for the compensation of surviving victims, including 457 in the UK, if the German government is held liable for their condition. Thalidomide was prescribed in dozens of countries between 1957 and 1961. Despite inadequate tests being carried out to test its safety, what do you see happening today? Inadequate tests is being carried out. They are rushing through a vaccine. Question everything. Let's continue. A total of 10,000 babies born in Europe and Africa were born with physical deformities and brain damage. The company insists it was invented in 1953, but a document suggests it had previously purchased the trade name Contergan and therefore presumably the drug from a French firm which had been controlled by the Nazis. The firm Rhone-Poulenc registered 14 drugs from 1942, all ended with ergan. No other company used the suffix, and the drug often had distinct similarities with thalidomide. Not only is the name typical of the Rhone-Poulenc brand, names of the 1940s, the action of thalidomide also belongs to this range of products, Dr. Johnson told the Sunday Times. In a separate development, Argentinian author Carlos Di Napoli says he has discovered a November 1944 document from the German pharmaceutical company IG Farben, which refers to a substance with the same chemical formula as thalidomide. In his book, Hitler's Laboratories, he states, company director Fritz Termer sent a memo to Karl Brandt, an SS general who ran Hitler's euthanasia program. The memo refers to the drug by a number, 4589, and adds it has been tested and is ready for use. There is absolutely no doubt of the Nazi development of and experimentation with thalidomide in the World War II camps, he said. Grunenthal has claimed to have lost documents relating to drug trials, but Dr. Johnson said its 1954 patent for thalidomide indicated it had already been tested on humans before official tests began. He concludes in a report, the patent suggests that thalidomide was probably one of a number of products developed at a chemical laboratory, Danforth or Auschwitz Monowith, a synthetic rubber company and petrol processing plant which uses labor from concentration camps under the leadership of Otto Ambrose in the course of nerve gas research. Grunenthal insisted it had not worked with Rhone-Poulenc to develop the drug. So they are denying all of that. A spokesman said 3 Grunenthal employees discovered thalidomide and Grunenthal is the sole inventor on the patent. Right? Sanofi Aventis, which has taken over the French firm, said it was investigating the claims by looking at the documents in its archives. Well, everyone is trying to deny it now. But let us look at who exactly is Otto Ambrose. Now, Otto Ambrose, May 19th, 1901, right, to the 23rd of July, 1990, he lived a full life. A German chemist and Nazi war criminal who was known as the Devil's Chemist, was directly involved with the research of chemical nerve agent, especially sarin, known as Substance 146, and Tabion. He worked as the chief of production at IG Farben's Buna Work synthetic rubber plant at Monowitz in the Auschwitz complex as chief of the Chemical Warfare Committee of the Ministry of Armaments and War Production. Ambrose developed and tested nerve gases on inmates of Auschwitz after World War II. In 1948, Ambrose was tried during the R.G. Farben trial in Nuremberg. He was convicted and sentenced for crimes against humanity, 1 count for slave labor, and received a prison sentence of 8 years. In early 1952, he was released from Landsberg prison. After his release, he became an advisor to chemical companies including W.R. Grace and Co., Dow Chemicals, as well as the U.S. Army Chemical Corps and the U.S. Department of Energy, Atomic Energy Commission, and Piccini. He was also the chairman for Knoll Pharmaceuticals, a known Nazi war criminal, chairman of a pharmaceutical, pay attention, a subsidiary of BAS, and Konrad Adenauer, the first chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany West. Right? Now, you need to understand that these people, they do not have your best interest at heart. Now, let us get into some information about the company and use critical thinking and connect the dots for yourself. Now, it says that Chaimin Granenthal would become a haven for a number of these Nazi scientists. The fact that the Chaimin Granenthal actively recruited these experts was not necessarily surprising. Even major American and British companies had maintained commercial links with the Nazi regime during World War II and afterwards recruited former Nazi scientists, consultants, and advisors too. Pay attention. However, many historians looking at the number of former Nazi Party members working for Chaimin Granenthal, the same company responsible for Thalidomide, right? Let's go over it. However, many historians looking at the numbers of former Nazi Party members working for Chaimin Granenthal in the late 1950s and early 1960s are absolutely astonished that a small company has such a high concentration of convicted war criminals on its staff. This, they contend, was unusual even by standards of post-war Germany. Make that make sense, right? That company that is responsible for the drug thalidomide have a large concentration of convicted Nazi war criminal on their staff working for them. I wonder why. Because they need to pick up where they left off, what they did not get to finish do. Right? And that is to kill undesired people. And they attempt to kill them in the womb. Now, the research don't prove that, but that is what me and the team realize is going on based on what the Nazi Party stands for and what this drug can do to the fetus. Right? I'm telling you, these people that you think have your best interest at heart, they don't. Right? And they have weaponized medicine years ago. And they know exactly what to do and how to do it to get you to comply without firing one bullet. This is Nazi Germany all over again. I am so surprised that so many so-called educated people, so many well-intelligent people, well-spoken, and they do not realize what is happening. It's World War II all over again. It's thalidomide all over again. Right? Now, years to come, you're going to hear people talking about not being responsible for this so-called scamdemic, and everyone is going to try and wash their hands of it. But I tell you, the Most High will not accept I did not know. The Most High will not accept no flimsy excuses. Right? If you are a part of this, trying to destroy humanity, you need to step aside, because this is spiritual warfare and it will not end well. And any of you out there that is actively taking part in destroying humanity, know that you will not win this war. Right? Do not listen to those in the shadows. Do not listen and follow the advice of the fallen, right? They know their time is up. You need to pray and ask for forgiveness, right? Because time is not our friend. The conjunction is on the 21st of December. Let us pray and say, glory be to the Most High.